Okay, hi guys, this is a video to show you how you can set up your InDesign document to create your zine. The very first thing we're going to do is not even in InDesign. We're going to sort of organize the content that we're going to put into our InDesign document so that we have a really smooth workflow. We don't lose things or get sidetracked with little problems. We want to be organized from the start and keep everything together. So I'm going to right click and go to new and create a new folder. In my case on my desktop, but for you guys, you'd want to create your new folder in in your media folder, wherever you keep that on your computer. I'm going to call this Media Zine Project, and then I'm going to double click on that folder, right click and go to new folder, and I'm going to create a subfolder and I'm going to call it content. And this is where I'm going to put the content for my zine. So anything that I put into my zine later, I want to make sure it's in this folder here. I'm going to select all the photos that I took for my zine using the prompts that I think I would have given you guys on the slideshow. And I'm going to Control-C to copy them and Control-V to paste them into this content folder. I'm going to close that. And here now I've got all the content for my zine within the content folder that is within the Media Zine Project folder. Okay, now let's get to InDesign. So I'm going to type in Adobe InDesign. And I've got two versions of the app. I'm going to use 2022. If you've got an older version of the app, make sure you update it. You can do that by going to your Creative Cloud app here. It's probably on your desktop for you guys actually. Now, the very first time you open InDesign, it may look a little bit different to mine or it may look similar. So by default, because you guys have touchscreen laptops, it's going to open in the touch workspace. I personally really hate this workspace. It doesn't show you a lot of the features that you're probably going to use. So I'll click that immediately and go to Essentials. And that should bring me to a workspace that's better. That looks a lot more familiar to me. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Let's talk a little bit about what we can see on the, actually, let's create a new document first because that's what you guys will be doing. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can go to New File here, or you can go to File, New, and then Document. If you're doing it here, you want to make sure you hit Document, not Book. Even though we're creating a booklet or a zine, we still want to hit Document. So we get a whole bunch of presets that we can select to create our document with. I'm going to go to Print, and I want to select View All Presets, and I want to select A4. Now, by default, InDesign has letter selected. Letter's this weird American paper size. It's like A4, but it's a little squashier. So when you go to print your document later, it all looks fine while you're making it, but then you go to print it and it's got these white bars at the top and bottom, which doesn't look good. So make sure you select A4. I like to change the unit measurement to millimeters. Just, I don't know, I like to make sure it's got the right dimensions for an A4 piece of paper, but you guys may not remember those by heart anyway, so it doesn't matter. Orientation is portrait, that's good. Facing pages ticked on, and all this other stuff we can leave, and then we can go to create. Now, so far we've only got a one-page document. What I might do is, let's talk through the workspace a little bit before we do anything else. So on the left-hand side, we've got a whole bunch of tools that we can use. Many of those might be familiar from Photoshop and Illustrator and all that stuff. On the right-hand side, we've got a whole bunch of tabs or windows that we can open while we work. Now, Properties is probably the most essential one. So when you put in, let's say I'm just going to pop in some text. We'll do a separate video just to talk about text later, but I'm just going to pop in some text and, I might make it a lot bigger so you guys can actually see it. Okay, so when we've got this text frame selected, this properties window will show us all the properties for text. It'll show us like the font, the paragraph layout, all that sort of stuff. The properties window will change depending on what you have selected. So if I've got a picture instead of text, it'll show me different stuff in the properties window. It's the most essential window to kind of have on your workspace. If you can't see it, or any other window that I refer to in this tutorial, just go up to Window and then you should be able to find it here. Somewhere in there. There it is, Properties. P for Properties. I don't know why my alphabet's pretty bad today. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Now let's talk about the Pages window. So that's the other essential one that we'll cover today. Right now, I've only got a one-page document. I want to add pages, so I might add 2 more pages, 3 pages. Now we've got a 4-page document. So what are we looking at here? If I hold Control and press minus, I can zoom out. This is the front cover. This is page 2. This is page 3. And this is the back cover. So this page here is actually the reverse of that page, and this page here is the reverse of that page. So what it is I should have had a zine handy, but you've got your front cover, say there, Then you've got your page 2, your page 3, and your back cover. So, critical thing about InDesign, or making a zine in InDesign, you need to have a number of pages that is divisible by 4. So you can have 4 pages, 8 pages, 12, 16, whatever it is, but you can't have like 5 pages. If you have 5 pages, you'll have, you know, this, and then this. There's nowhere for that to actually be, because, you know, you sort of have like the 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, nowhere for 5. So I'm going to create a 12-page document. I'll click this a few times till I get to 12. And there we can see our entire document that I can start dragging stuff to. So everything looks good here. Before I do anything else, I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call it Zine Project for Media, something that I'll remember and be able to find later. I'm going to save it to where? I'm going to save it to the desktop and to the folder that I created, the Media Zine project folder, and I'm going to go Save, and then I will close this. Okay, and what we should have now is our Media Zine project folder, and it's got the zine file all ready to go, and the content that we're going to put in the zine is all right here. So that means that if I move this around somewhere, I'm not going to break the link between the stuff I put in the InDesign document and the InDesign document. That's really important, but we'll talk a little bit about that when we do the pictures. But yeah, just make sure you're organized from the start, and that's how you set up your InDesign file to create a zine. And I'll see you in the next video to talk about text.